This is Black Desert on the PlayStation 4, so I previously checked out the beta. Now we're jumping into the full sort of launch version of the game on the console. I am on the base PS4, just for context. So we're going to start out just by kind of showing off here that there's a bunch of crowded servers. We're going to pick one for the most effect of the game when it's at its most stressed. This is a premium title. It's not a free-to-play. For additional context, I played this on PC back in the day, and I played the full thing on Xbox just like 6 months ago. So cut me for some slack in regards to, you know, everything like that and the level that I'm showing off here. So we've got set classes. There's the Warrior, the Ranger. If you're noticing that any are missing, they're likely to add more. They do a sort of trickle content sort of design to the game. So that means that they release content slowly just after launch like they did with the Xbox version. So I expect more classes and content generally overall to be added to the game as time goes by, usually month to month, week to week, stuff like that. You'll see new additions added to the game. They just give you the sort of vanilla version when things launch, just so that players learn the game, understand mechanics, and then they start adding things. So the game has what I'd consider perhaps the best character customizer that I've come across, in my opinion. So we're going to take a look at that quickly here. So you can completely adjust the look of your characters. They have a very neat sort of customization setting when it comes to shaping and tweaking. So you can come here and you can actually fully adjust every aspect of the face. You see the highlighted points there, and that carries forward on the body as well, not to mention all the other tweaks like tattoos and everything like that, which is really crazy and cool in my opinion. So again, we can see the shape here, and then we can adjust every aspect of it, and there are other little aspects that you can adjust and tweak too easily, and your characters do look rather gorgeous in my opinion, even though they are gender locked and everything like that. But we're going to jump in on my main character here. Here is Black Desert on the PlayStation 4. Don't worry, it's going to start loading a little bit better here. But yeah, definitely some performance issues and other problems. Here's my mount spotty. Some loading texture issues and things like that. One aspect of play that I really do like is that it does have auto running, whether you're on a mount or by yourself as a person, so that's really cool. Moving past that, I'm a few hours into this one. Again, I literally put in 30, 40 hours on the Xbox version like 6 months back, so I'm not quite prepared to do that again. But this is a good spot. I felt looking into the game that I could see how it's running and kind of showcase things. So you move from area to area, and you're fighting different creatures along the way. You'll fight things like trolls, harpies, big weird monsters, fish people, everything like that. There's a lot going on. So you go to level 50, and then it's sort of, because right now it's PvE, everything like that. There are PvP sections, there's guilds, and other aspects too. But once you hit that 50 point, it's a big turning point for the game, because everything becomes an open world PvP game if you continue leveling and everything past that, which is kind of interesting. And something I feel I should mention, because I know not a lot of people like that. So, yeah, something to go over. You have to be careful with your horses because they can actually get attacked. At the end of every sort of section, you fight a big, weird boss monster. And the last one in this game was giving my horse a hard time. Kept trying to go after it, so it was kind of annoying me. You also have this weird, creepy, sort of like black spirit creature that is around you, and he levels and increases in size and stuff as you play, which is kind of creepy. Just so you know, it's kind of an interesting aspect of play, seeing him become a bigger, weirder, monstrous thing. There is a bit of a narrative here, but it's more focused on sort of killing and combat. There are other missions as well, but that's just one aspect of the play. So we're going to get into combat here. So the game actually does give you, I'd say, a fairly good sense of scale, just in terms of how large it feels, the world, you get to see far in the distance. There's definitely quite a bit of pop-in going on in this, in the environment, and shadows and textures and everything like that. Again, we are on the base PS4. And there's a weird issue where at times everyone will be just like black colored. They're just like basically silhouettes. And it takes like a little bit actually for the textures to load in on the characters. So yeah, the performance definitely could use some additional work on this version of it. And I was playing the beta, and everybody's like, oh, it'll be fine for launch. And I'm like, I know dev cycles work, guys. You're not going to get a huge change between launch and everything like that. I mean, they'll probably optimize it over time, but this is just the state of the game at the current point. And it's, you know, it's not the best way to play it, but it's cool to have the game available. You know, this is an MMORPG, if I failed to mention that at this point, so everybody plays it kind of at the same time. You can have, like, mounts, you can have pets, like my little doggy there. And yeah, this was a premium title, so you pay to go in, but there is like a store and everything like that. We got this menu system. I'm going to show off the map first. So you actually get a fairly large scale map that you can zoom in and out of. It's very big. You can see all the different creatures. Over here is like the fish people. Great grinding spot for XP later on, guys. This is like the first sort of little main town that you come across. This is the starting area. And then we're in another section here. We're going to move over to like a big town over in this area that you go to, which is like sort of a main hub. And then there's like a massive city somewhere around here. So there are big towns that you can go to. There's like guild battles going on. There's professions you can do. You can fish. You can also gather resources from the environment, which is nice. Quite a lot going on in that regard. You can dye clothing and everything like that. So we'll open up the pearl shop. So this is where you kind of like buy premium things. I like to show it off just to give you an idea of like sort of like the creatures and stuff you can get. Like you get like a macaw here. It's kind of cool. Can I show that off? There we go. The macaw. You could have like the penguin's kind of funny. I've seen people with the penguin rocking around. They do events and stuff as well in the game, so that it's something to look forward to. When the Xbox version was just releasing, they were like doing fireworks every night, so that was nice. I don't know if they're doing the similar thing here. They might be, not exactly sure. Yeah, you can have like weird costumes too. You'd be like a fish person. By the fish. So I've never seen this. This is the greatest thing in the world. Oh my god. Okay, that's a for later thing. Moving past that. You got your inventory, and then you got like a pearl inventory, which is separate. You can expand your inventory when you get like items from your creepy little friend. You get certain clothing items that you can add. You get like mount tokens and wagon tokens, and then you can use those to redeem for things. It works the same with the pets. So you have to go to like a stables, and then you're able to redeem that. You can find parties to work with others. There's like the full skills area, and you're able to get new skills, and you can do new battles. I don't have any enough skill points for me to be able to do anything, but we're gonna get into combat here so you can kind of see what that's like. Come on, get on the road. I love the auto run feature of this game. Makes it really easy for like those long cross map exploration things. You can put it down, you go get like a drink or go to the bathroom or something, which is nice. So it is a fairly expansive world. There's a lot of content to it. You can spend a lot of time playing. You got the chat feature on the left there. Hopefully nothing too bad showing up there. A lot of hotkey options that you can kind of adjust, which is nice. I see this wheel here is like full of stuff that you could adjust. And again, there's like certain profession type things that you can do. I think maybe if I leave my horse here, this might be a good spot. It's probably not going to get attacked. But I want to see if there's any of like the profession type things in this section as an example. Yeah, so you can like collect stuff from the environment. You can gather and you can increase those skills as well. So there's quite a fair bit to the game, and just in terms of like what's going on in this. But yeah, definitely could have had some better performance to it, in my opinion, on this version. But I mean, it looks pretty good, which is nice. We're just gonna go on like a mission where we're sort of storming this castle, hopefully not getting knocked off of that. What's up, Beetle? And there are full cinematic moments as well that show up throughout the game. You can watch those if you like. And then we're going to continue on with our mission here. Go to the next section. And this is just like an example of play. Hopefully we're going to get into like... Well, we will. We'll get into some more combative segments in a sec here. It's just like sort of the pre-chat before everything. And I guess I could also fight some people to show that off too, just so you get a better idea of what's going on. I do wish that you could have like any gender for the characters, though. I know that's probably a bit of a letdown for some players, because I see a lot of comments about that when I do these sort of checkups on this one. It's always one of the big mentions. Great, so we're back in the zone. And our buddy is hiding somewhere in Kron Castle. He's a very useful guy, you know. He definitely does a lot of stuff. So that was an interesting situation. We're probably going to get into some combat situations here, just so we can show that off regardless. So it's very particle effects driven, which I think is cool. You get a lot of neat abilities. As you can see, my level at the top there, and like the health involved, and then the different mana. So you actually don't quite know how enemies are in terms of like their health and everything like that until you battle a bunch of them, and then you sort of learn about the characters as you continue to battle, which is kind of an interesting mechanic, I guess. It's definitely something that's a little bit different. Hi, weird monster thingy. So yeah, we're just going to go in and fight a bunch of guys and not necessarily look for our friend at this current point. Some of the missions, you do have to do things like we have to come in here, burn tents, and like talk to a weird guy, which is interesting. There is, again, like many different worlds. Well, not worlds, but sections to explore, different sort of characters to come across and meet, main characters, side ones, weird monsters to fight. You're never quite sure what you're going to see, and they really do embrace the fantasy elements of the game quite a bit. And I hope this is sort of showing off the performance. Again, we are in a crowded server of the game, so that you understand that this is like, I guess almost of it, the game pushed quite a bit performance-wise and what it does, so that's interesting. Where is this guy actually at? This is the portal we were just at there. Dun dun dun! Node manager, interesting. Yeah, the node system of the game. There's like actually like a whole loot economy and stuff to this, so it's actually kind of really in depth, which is surprising. We can check the actual sort of missions and everything like that. Cool inventory. Yeah, we also have like a... Oh no, I don't want you. Get out of here. A full system here, so you can adjust things. You can change your trail too, if you want to change your follow trail, so you have something more like a Fable type trail, and you get like attendance rewards and everything like that for coming in, which is nice. And you can see the ring menu setting. And then there's the actual work system when you're working on things. Workers, using workers and stuff like that. And you got your quest area, and then you can hotkey it. Wow, should have noticed that. Summon the Black Spirit. It is very funny when he gets when he evolves and stuff. Well, yeah, it's weird that it keeps like unhotkeying the main quest I'm working on. I find that very weird. And then you'll get sent to general areas for objectives, so there's actually quite large areas that you can fight creatures in, so that you're not having to, you know, wait a long time to be able to fight things. There's usually multiple pockets of which you can fight enemies in. Yeah, the detail does actually like degrade quite a bit in the distance on this version of the game. Now that we're like very elevated here, that's interesting. I don't know what's with the intense music today. I'm hoping that's in-game sound. Kind of weird. There you go, fight these guys. But yeah, a lot of cool sort of abilities that you can unleash, and I mean, the higher you level, the more sort of things you have. More options for what you can like hotkey. It's always a good idea to have health potions hotkeyed, in my opinion, but you know, you can do you, right? Customize the experience for what your classes need. I think they've actually streamlined the combat system pretty well, so that it's more accessible than having to really button along like other MMORPGs that I've seen in the past on consoles. And I mean, this generation really has been one where we are seeing more and more titles like this, you know, getting ported over, which is good. You know, more variety, more options, more choices. I'd say this one leaves something to be desired in terms of, like, you know, the performance. But it is actually, like, a fairly wealthy world in terms of what it provides, the countless hours of gameplay you can have in it, the expansive landscape to visit and explore through, which is nice. Look at the drawback there. And there are quite a lot of creatures you get to fight. I mean, we're just fighting humans right now, which is a little bit boring, but There's a whole world out there that you can see with tons of weird creatures. The fish ones are, I think, some of my favorite in the landscape. The trolls are kind of cool, but I remember that segment being very minimal. Then there's like the harpies, which were also, you know, kind of a neat enemy to fight, I thought, because they're like flying base, which is different. Usually everything runs by fairly quickly. You're not ever in one area too long. You know, they keep you moving around, visiting new locations, checking out new places, meeting new characters along the way on your journey. Yeah, you know, the horses are cool, but usually, like, you know, the mounts, but usually I just kind of leave mine in one spot. I remember getting like closer to the end game on the Xbox, and I was just like, I don't want to keep my horse around because it's such a pain in the ass to have to like leave it, and then you have to go jump on it again. It's like, ugh, what an inconvenience. So that's just one aspect of play that I thought I would mention. But really cool combat, in my opinion. I think it's pretty sweet looking. You know, flows fairly well. I don't think the game's too difficult to play by yourself. It does get a little bit harder once you get to those higher tier levels and everything like that. Even the big bosses are actually like pretty intense that you face at the end of each sort of segment, so that's something to you know, keep in mind for when you're getting there, that there is going to be a sense of a challenge as well. Lots of different character classes too, so they all play a little bit differently. You're obviously going to see more, as I mentioned, over time, which is nice. I think we're escaping this castle now, which is good, because I am sick and tired of this spot. I remember it from back in the day. But there's like actually quite a lot of content to this. You're not really doing dungeons in this title. It's a little bit different in that regard, so don't expect that. But expect, you know, a wealth of time-consuming things to do, places to visit, professions to take in if that's your sort of thing. I mean, everybody kind of plays these games differently, right? So you get those options. I know fishing is something that a ton of people enjoy in this one, so you get the fishing options, obviously. Seriously, what is with the intense music today? Is that like in-game? Somebody's like, what the heck? So odd. Oh yeah, and there are interactions you can do with your horse too. That's that kind of wheel that we were seeing. Pretty cool, right? Hello. Oh no, that's the dead soldier. Beetle. Weird guy. I guess it is sort of a traditional MMORPG, just in terms of like, you know, how it runs you around, what you're supposed to be doing. Oh, that's not my horse. That horse looks way more badass than mine. Nobody beats Spotty though. Jason and Spotty. Classic duo. I do love the casual run. Helps quite a bit. So we can take a look at the map here and see our little progress with our horse. So we're going back to one of the main starter towns. Again, like the main town is like out over here. And there's large lakes you can visit and other scenic things, I guess, too. Is that like, I believe that's one of the work areas. So on PlayStation 4, it's maybe alright. It definitely doesn't run as well as it maybe should, and that could be a barrier and an issue for some people. I'm sort of used to it, because, you know, that's just what I expect from this type of game. Definitely remember it running a little bit smoother on the One X, though. Even though that one is enhanced and everything like that. It depends if you can handle the issues and the bugs there, but you know, for the most part, I think it's a fairly enjoyable world with quite a bit of wealth to it. Yeah.